Do you have anything to say to the viewers? Fillmore, who is your pick for HRL champion this year? Obviously the Black Panthers, because you are their mascot.
Of course, go for the beeline team.
Okay, go. Welcome, Inside Harmony Rucker League fans, to episode 5 of the podcast. I am Walker Ward alongside my partner Mason Howard, and we've got a pretty exciting one for you here. A little bit of a change up. We are going to run down a quick little recap here of this last week, and then we're going to get into some exciting stuff. Mason, how are we doing today?
We're doing good. I'm really excited to get into this. We have spent a good amount of time prepping for this.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys know. I mean, we get here, we talk for a while about Rucker Ball, record, then we edit for a while about Rucker Ball. So I mean, this whole podcast really is it's a piece of artwork that we make. We hope you guys enjoy. That's what we're here for. And without further ado, I think we got to get into the recap for the week.
Yep, we got to talk about it. We're just going to go right down the list as we normally do. Black Panthers, obviously another successful weekend. They still have only lost one game. Beat the Wolves.
Mm-hmm. And that Wolves, yeah, I mean, what I was going to say is that one game that they lost was to the Wolves, but they didn't have Gavin Hubka.
Nope.
Now they have Gavin Hubka.
And
they take care of business against the Wolves in a 40-minute game, I should say, too. That game was
a long game. And we didn't really watch any of it. And we were developing our own stories, and we had Jose and we had Colt in the booth and Carson and
Atlee was there. Talking about how tough and hard Ethan Lane was getting down low.
How hard Ethan Lane is out there on the court. He's just a real hard player.
Just a big white monster down there.
But, like we said, so Black Panthers, another 3-0 weekend. The only storyline I guess we should touch on out of the Black Panthers before we move on is the fact that Jose wants out.
Yeah, badly. He was making that very clear to us on the broadcast.
And if you guys are wanting to know, you can make sure to go to the Harmony Rucker League Instagram page and check out this last week's game of the week. Go to the end and watch the whole thing, but go to the end, and there's a little Ethan Lane, Jose back and forth there.
There is. Well, we need, hopefully, is Gundo actually going? Gundo guy posted, didn't he?
Yeah, it's uploaded. It's on there.
Perfect. Yeah,
you don't get to hear any of our commentary because he cut it out, but
did he actually?
He cut a lot of it out. There's like in the middle of a story, one of us is in the middle of something, and it just cuts to the next thing. It's like, come on, dude, we had some stuff there.
We had some really good content.
Cole Landers is given like the best answer, and it just cuts to something else. So
talk about a guy who does not care about Rucker Ball or storylines.
I don't know how they do things in Australia, but
apparently not well.
So that leads us the Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves. Wow, weird week for the Wolves.
What are the Wolves? Okay, so
surprise
guest here on the pod, coming in hot. We've got Jeffy himself, my teammate. Jeffy, this is quite the surprise. A little bit of a change-up, a little bit of a curveball, but we're going to adapt to the situation. Jeffy, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
You said pull up if we're free. I'm here, and I'm here to call some people out.
Okay.
Do you want to just start calling people out, or should we get as we go along?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just talking about the Wolves.
How long are you going to sit here for? Are you sitting here for the whole thing, or
However long you want me to.
There's a car running outside.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
169B.
169B. Okay, so
is anybody in the car outside?
There's a couple people.
Is there actually?
Okay, just call out your people.
All right. Let me step off set.
We're gonna have to edit this out.
Okay. Hold on, let me edit this part. Yeah. Okay, Mike.
All right, so Jeffy, call him out. The mic is yours.
Floor.
Quincy Berland. That's all I gotta say. I'm coming for you.
Wow. Called him out.
Do you guys play the Lions this week?
No, we played them last week. Beat them.
Oh, that's pretty convenient to play them without Quincy Berlin. And then
That doesn't matter.
who's in the car waiting for you right now?
You
Is
calling
there any
out
other
Unk?
Rucker League players?
Black Panthers, Anthony Keeney is out there.
Bring him in here.
Storm, Dylan Winslow,
Bring him in here.
Bennett Miller.
Go get everybody in here right now.
All right.
We're gonna. This is the people at home can't tell. We did not expect this to happen.
We had a well-structured idea going into this, and we just got the biggest curveball. Fillmore, no.
We gotta get over. Everyone, you guys have 5 minutes because we just started. Yes. All right. We're gonna have like talk about like Jeff, you're first.
All right. Polars went 1-2 this week. It was a little disappointing. First game, we got steamrolled by the Storm. Couldn't stop Colt. Second game, played the Lions without Quincy. It was pretty easy. Last game, Hunters. Mason had himself a game, and we couldn't stop him.
You played well too. You guys put up a fight.
Yeah, and if Max Giannis is watching this, just get in the lab. That's all I gotta say.
We're going to Anthony.
Black Panthers.
Black Panthers, we had a good week. We went 3-0. It's only 1 week we didn't. Unlucky.
We literally just said that to the camera that you guys went 3-0 yet again.
Yeah, we had a good week. Ethan put up a good stat line. He was helping us in that tough win against the Wolves. That second game, I think we only won by 3 that game. That was tough. Zach was trying to keep him in it. Mingo hit a couple good shots, bunch of rebounds. Who did we play the last game? Last game, Gators. It's a pretty easy game against the Gators. Surprisingly, I wasn't really expecting it to be because John was doing a lot better that week. But we just played really good, and everything's clicking right now. We're hot.
Bennett wasn't there, and we already talked about the Polars. So
What about state golf though? I want to hear about.
Yeah, let's talk
how
about
state
state
golf.
Um, boys did well. Aiden did well. Brody struggled a little bit. Girls got third, but definitely struggled. Tough competition though, so came out third, which is what we expected. And boys individually did well. Just struggled a little bit.
And then we got the Storm. We got Dylan Winslow, the Storm representative here.
The Storm did good. Our first game we went 3-0. Our first game against the Polars was pretty easy. And then against the Gators,
Crazy.
it was also pretty easy. Colt could not be stopped. And then against the Knights, same thing. Colt could not be stopped.
And then my last question, you guys, is: have you guys heard who's on the trade block right now? Who's about to be traded?
No.
Quentin Tripp is looking for a new home.
yeah.
Are any of you guys interested in taking Q on your guys' team? Any takers?
Absolutely not.
I think BP's good. We're fine where we are.
Polars?
Polars are thinking.
The Polars are also
77 is 77 is thinking.
Oh.
BMO thinks he's good.
You think you're getting traded?
Me and Brian definitely will. He said in the group chat once we said we'd be gone that we're putting him in a tough spot for being gone for so many weeks in a row. That I think we're definitely up there for one of the top guys to get traded.
Do you know anything about this, Walker?
I'm not going to comment on it because it's not true. You can't take anything 77 says seriously.
Don't worry, Bryden. You're a Polar for life.
Bennett, you might not be.
Anything else you guys want to say to the camera before we kick you guys out of here? Anybody call out?
I already called my guy out.
You did.
Anybody want to call out?
Nah.
You, Anthony?
I think Berlin's just a little bit scared to play us again.
Quincy Berlin catching strays out here.
And we know he watches the podcast,
Oh,
too.
he was the first person. He watched at 7 a.m. The second it dropped, he was watching.
I had it streaming at 7 a.m. He was tuned in. Oh, I love it. Oh, my goodness. How do you feel about not being in the most improved player conversation? I mean, obviously you've been good, but like you're on the best team as a significant piece this year. But this guy is the front runner. How do you feel about that?
I know, thank you for the compliment saying I was good the last couple years. I didn't think I was that good. I thought I was okay. But this year I did think that I improved quite a bit, and I'm not sure how much Gavin had this week, but I think I'm still the second leading scorer for our team, and I think I kind of got snubbed from that. But
I think so.
I was just gonna say I'm looking at this list and Jeffy has improved, Clayton has definitely improved, Bryden improved from last year, but I'm seeing at least in that 4 spot right there, Atlee Hirschberger.
I mean, this dude's already won it once.
He's already won it. How much better can he get? But and then obviously we've got Mason down there too. So we've got 2 players. It's literally Polar, Hunter, and a Knight. So I don't know. Gundo's just making stuff up. He's down in Australia. They're upside down. Who knows?
I mean, what I'll say, I'll put it out there. I do believe that you deserve to be in the conversation, as well as
I
you,
agree.
Jeffy. I think you two, and Shopsky definitely deserve to be in it. Atlee's already won it, so I don't know unless he's in the MVP conversation. I don't know how he can improve again.
And honestly, can I add to that list? I mean, Dylan Winslow's got to be at least, if he's not in top 5, he's got to be number 6.
So we're talking about. I mean, I think it should be Jay, Clay, Bryden, Anthony, and Dylan Winslow right there. Obviously, I'm having some career highs, but I've been all HRL before. I don't know if I should be in the most improved player rankings. I appreciate it, but come on, these guys are stepping up for their team. So.
Yeah, we've got to get guys that haven't been already accoladed in the past. So
you guys are all doing well. We appreciate you boys for stopping by. You guys got anything else to say? Now's the time.
Nope. Black Panthers suck.
Yeah, you'll see tomorrow, buddy.
Tomorrow's Saturday.
Sunday.
You'll see tonight, technically, because that's when this comes out. So
we got a game of the week right there. Black Panthers and Storm game of the week, maybe.
We'll see. Oh, well, I'll take that mic back from you.
All right.
Appreciate you,
Thanks
boys.
for stopping by, boys.
Drive safe out there.
See you in
Let's actually get no sponsorship. This podcast is sponsored by White Barn Hockey Team Intense. It's gonna make voice go away. I'm going to knock this down. Well, it's going to flow very well. Just watch it. Getting cast for other players. It's not like we're flying. We're going here. We got to go guys. I think that's what happened. Especially if we I like having that. So we don't need to talk. Yeah. So I was just thinking about a recap, but yeah, I think we'd honestly just change the most improved player ranking right there.
I agree.
Single handed.
I wasn't even thinking about Dylan Winslow being in. I need to see his stats,
but he's actually kind of been he's been pretty nasty for this, the Storm. I think having Colt take a lot of the pressure away and letting him shine is really helping, especially with Sawyer on the team too, and Wilson. Dylan's really shining as a third, fourth player.
Yeah, and just looking at this rankings, I mean, Bryden's got to stand there. He's having career highs in every single statistical category. But we gotta. I mean, obviously, I do feel like I'm having my best season yet in the Rucker. But again, I went from being an all HRL player to an MVP candidate, so it's just kind of the jump is there, but also it's not significant as guys who were okay players to now being really good, helpful on their team. Especially Ant, who's on the best team right now, contributing.
He's the steal of the third round, I guess I would consider it.
Yes. So fun to get these guys in there, get the input in here. Maybe they should put a little more cologne on next time.
Yeah, a little bit more. So we talked about the Black Panthers. We talked about the Wolves. Dylan talks about Storm 3-0, player of the week, Colt, couldn't be stopped. The Suns went 3-0 with no Jay Brink.
And Rylan Rista had a great weekend.
He did. Talking with some sources, the Suns like where they're at, and they just can't wait to get Jay Brink back and have all their guys there.
I mean, they've changed their tune. I mean, every week they're kind of changing what they're telling us.
On the opposite hand, the Lions 0-3 with no Quincy Berland. And Quincy just got flamed by these guys.
Gosh.
So,
I mean, I think of dudes who I don't want to call out, and Quincy Berland's one of them.
Yeah.
I don't like. We're one of those guys, maybe the ones who called Colt Landers.
might have been, honestly.
I mean,
that whoever did that is still out there. They are still a free man. They do need to be brought to justice and pay for their actions and words. One note on the Lions. Eric was, I believe. Oh my gosh, we'd have to call Zach. We'll have to figure it out later. I know who they're getting.
was it the dude they put in the group chat?
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Mabel
but,
kid.
but you'll see him this Sunday. But the Lions are still heavy trade talks. Basically, Keegan Patton is he's not on the trade block. He's on the cut block. Let's just put that.
Yeah, and I don't know who they would get for Keegan. Like, I don't know. I don't know who's wanting to make a trade.
Apparently, dude hasn't played basketball since his sophomore year, and it showed.
I mean, yeah, I remember Zach texted me about him after he was in the league. I was like, yeah, this dude hasn't played basketball in years. And like, what's one of the requirements? Like, you have to have basketball background. And he thought that, that 7th grade through 8th grade through JV basketball experience was enough. And I think you find out pretty quickly when you're playing college basketball players and such that there's some dudes in this league. But like, also again, we're all here getting better, having fun, but you might get shipped off if you're not contributing to your team.
You have your Hunters went 2-1, and the great news is
Greg's back, baby.
Greg is back.
We've been waiting. Bryce Corson said it on draft night. We're playing for the second half of the season. So we are 5-10, 3 games out of 3rd place. Storm are 8 and 7 right now. We're 5-10. So between 3rd and 9th place, it's only a weekend apart. And we're the only team that has played consistently without their 2nd round pick. Every team has at least had their top 2 guys there majority of the weekends. Mm-hmm. So now we have, myself, MVP candidacy right now.
Mm-hmm.
We got a 6'5" big.
Yeah.
And now another 6'5" wing who's returning.
Yeah.
And then also Atlee, who's in the MIP again, who is having a great year. And then we also have CJ with that championship pedigree that we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Hunters might be. This might, the standings might really shake up here now. Coming into July is when HRL matters.
It is,
and it's coming up. I know we're still in June, but
I don't know. I wonder if
getting crazy here.
Can the Suns go 3-0 again without Jaden Brink because he's still gone this week?
Yes, and
I'll be
Quincy
curious
Berlin
to see.
Is still gone this week too. I thought he was gone 2 weeks as well.
We said it on the podcast last week. I think somebody told me. It might have been Eric Wilder who told me that he's only gone 1 week. I think he's back.
Okay. Some other around the league. We had talked about the Polars. The Knights 1-2 continue to be 1-2, 2-1. Seems same old story for them.
Very hit or miss team.
Gators 0-3. Their plus minus dropped by 19 points this week.
I mean, that is over 3 games that you're averaging 6 to 7 point losses per game.
And they had their full squad there.
That's not just losing, that's getting blown out in a game to 21. That's consistently just getting blown out of games, which just surprises me. I mean, obviously they had to play the Storm, but you guys were. They played.
No,
they
played the. So the Gators played the Knights. Cut that whole segment. Cut that whole part out.
Yeah.
But the Gators 0-3. And then the other 0-3 team on the weekend, the Red Raiders.
Who had their full squad.
They did.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of full squad, there's somebody. So a couple weeks ago when we had those anonymous polls, and we had basically it was an anonymous poll, but somebody attached their name to it and said, I want the ball more, or I want out.
The Red Raiders went 1-2, by the way. Excuse me. I know I said 0-3 earlier. They went 1-2.
They did go 1-2.
They won their first game, and it might have even been against the Lions. I think it was. I think they beat the Lions.
Okay.
And then they
lost.
They
didn't go 0-3. So, excuse my French. So 1-2, but they full squad. And where were we there? We had one player that had anonymously, but had attached their name to it, Quentin Tripp attached his name and said, "Give me the ball more. I want out." Here we are a couple weeks later. Sources confirmed that Quentin Tripp is having a meeting this Sunday before Rucker starts about his role on the team and possible trade destinations.
I know. I'm pretty sure you caught him with the camera when you were doing the live.
Yes.
Him, after we beat them 21-20, he barely played in the second half of that game.
Yeah,
They were running their small ball lineup, which is a good lineup for them too.
it is.
And after the game, we win. He takes his jersey off. He walks over to the golf cart. I went over to talk to my guy CJ, who's also in the golf cart, and be like, "Hey, like, no, you didn't get a lot of playing time, but like, appreciate you still what you're doing out there." But Quentin leans over to me. Then he's like, "If they're gonna treat me like this, then that's what I'm gonna do. I don't respect AB. I don't like the way he's running the team." And he's saying all of this to me. So then I go over to the Red Raiders. I'm like, "Are you guys gonna trade Quentin? He's not very happy." And they start talking to Zach. They're like, "Hey, we'll take a read off your hands for Quentin." And Zach's like, "We like her. He hit a game winner for us a couple weeks ago."
Yeah.
So it's all now come full circle to AB and Quentin having this maybe come to Jesus moment, maybe go to another team moment. We'll see. Only team that I could think of wanting somebody would have been the Suns, who needed a big man, but now
the
they're
Suns
telling
are
us,
happy.
I don't know. It's kind of like, we got this guy that we want to get rid of. We can't get rid of him even. Maybe a bad trade gets made where a team trades away their fifth guy who doesn't give him a lot of minutes for. I mean, Quentin Tripp, he's one of the better defenders in the league, isn't he not?
Well, like Jeffy had also said, like, yeah. So like Jeffy had said, the Polars are thinking about it, but like you said, he's also one of the best defenders in the league. So much so that actually, do you know who the all-time blocks leader in the HRL is?
I mean, I would have said Father Time.
But it's kind of, I'm giving you the softball here. It is Quentin Tripp. He leads the league in blocks, and the next like 3 players below him, I believe, are all retired. So he is, I believe, 16 rebounds ahead
16
blocks ahead
Yeah.
of Father Time, the next closest. Father Time's like 5th or 6th, but Quentin Tripp he's hosting a block party every week at Rucker, and it just seems like he's constantly being, forgotten about on these teams. Now, I don't know, something to kind of keep in mind, something to watch for with Quentin Tripp. Speaking of, here's another trivia question for you. So, do you know what team has had the greatest regular season in HRL history?
Was it? You're making me think now of
Mhm.
some of the best teams of all time.
You got to think of like, and I'm not going to give you any hints, but maybe was there a Jace Keeney led team? Was Gundo on a team?
The thing is with these Jace Keeney led teams is that he's never there during the regular season. I'm gonna go with.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
This team set a record with a record of 27-8.
Oh gosh, the Polars didn't do that last year. I don't
Nope,
think.
not the Polars.
In Zach's team when he was with the Suns, I don't think they did that. Did they do that either?
You were getting warm with that one.
So it's the Zach team, I'm guessing then.
What team was he on and that they set a record?
Was it the Hunters team then from 2022?
It was. So the 2022 Hunters broke the record by 1 game previously set by the 2021 Wolves, who went 26-9. The Hunters went 27-8. So with that, that's going to lead into an idea that we had, and I'm really excited for this one because we're going to basically set the stage, and we're going to let the viewers decide and vote on the Instagram. So do you want to I'll let you kind of explain what we've got going on here.
So as I said, right when we opened up this podcast, we spent a lot of time thinking about what can we bring to the table? What can we do better? We were sitting here talking new ideas. We thought of, who's the best HRL team of all time? We got back at watching some old Hayden Gunderson YouTube videos, shout out. And we were watching some of the finals from 2021. and like how would this? I think you said it was like how would this team stack up against some teams nowadays? And we started looking through all the stats and the records, and we think we have found, probably the 8 best teams to ever play in the HRL, and that's also kind of biased of us too. There might be some more, but like we're talking champions, runners up, regular season titans that just didn't that fell short. So we are now going to take these 8 teams, randomly select them in a hat. Shout out the Hustlers. And we're going to put them into a bracket, and then you guys will be able to vote on matchups, and we'll give you guys, the key season matchups, the players, their regular season records, plus minus, what they did in the postseason. And, we want to find out who's that best team of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So further ado, Walker, I think we need to pick our matchups.
I think we do. So this is going to be exciting. We've kind of done our research on these teams. We're going to, like he said, like Mason said, we're going to pull the team out. We're going to give you guys the background, and then we're also going to we'll give a little description when we post it on the Instagram, but this is going to be exciting to see who the viewers really think is the greatest HRL team of all time. Now, should we announce the field? Let's just pull them out, and we'll just go as we go here.
Yeah, let's.
So, first team, let's let you pull it here.
Okay.
So these aren't seeded. This is just random pulls. Whoever gets pulled is just going to go to the top of the bracket. No.
We got the 2021 Wolves.
The 2021
the OG Wolves.
So this is a team we just talked about, how they had set the record for the most wins in the season of 26-9, which was later broken. But this is a team that had Sam Rusted, Young Jeffy, Atlee, and Woody. I mean, at the time, that was a stacked team in the league, and it proved it. They went 26-9.
And yeah, it's easy to say, like, of course they set the record. That was the first year. That record was broken the next year. Nobody's touched the 26-9 yet.
Nobody.
No, I don't think a team has won 26 games other than that Hunters team that then did it the next year. So this is a team that legitimately did super well during the regular season. And then we looked at the championship, though, and we're like, they're not in there.
Nope.
What happened? The old Instagram's deleted. We can't find the stats. So then you did some investigative research, and why were they not in the championship?
So I would, the focal point of that team, the Nikola Jokic of that team, Sam Rusted, was dealing with some ankle rolls going in the semifinals against the Red Raiders, the eventual runner-up Red Raiders, and obviously losing a focal point like Sam Rusted, who can shoot the ball but is also big down low, dealing with rolled ankles, fell short, left it up to Jeffy, Atlee, and Woody, who just ultimately losing their, main key piece led to them falling short. Who would have known? Sam Rusted, the biggest what if. What if he didn't tear his ACL? What if he didn't roll his ankle? All these things.
Might be in the GOAT conversation, but
might be, but
we'll
all these what ifs. So the 2021 Wolves, they're going to go the top of the bracket. And let's pull another one. Let's just keep it rolling here.
We have playing the 2023 Wolves.
The Wolves versus the Wolves right there.
That's pretty funny.
This is going to be a crazy one. So I want you to talk about the 2023 Wolves here.
The 2023 Wolves are
of course, the best regular season.
Yeah, they're the only team on this list, and the only team to ever win a championship, and the only team to ever do a bunch of stuff with a losing record in the regular season.
But why were they included?
Because they won the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so the Wolves, listen to this roster. So this is 2023. This is only 2 seasons ago. So now we have pretty much entering prime, if not in prime, Jace Keeney.
Mm-hmm.
We have a prime Josh Peters.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Carson Keeney.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Bryce Corson.
That is an insane lineup.
And you were telling me that you remember there's probably some weekends there that they didn't even have anybody. It was just 3 subs.
It was 3 subs. One weekend, if I am not mistaken, they had 3 subs. I think they might have played with 2 for a while there.
Mm-hmm. So I mean, this team, they went all season rough. Their plus minus was a -14. They get their starters back for the playoffs. They were the 6th seed, I think, entering the playoffs. The 5 seed. And they come through the playoffs. They beat Logan Wilder's 1-seeded Lions that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then they end up playing Zach Haugerud's Suns, and they won in 5
Mm-hmm.
versus that Suns team. So
Which had Jeffy was on that
Jeffy,
team, I believe.
Zach,
Greg
was on that team.
Yeah.
That's a team I'm gonna be getting to later.
that's a big team right there.
So I mean, it just you see how bad they were without these guys, and then they still end up winning a championship. It's just one of the most improbable champions. I remember being there, being so shocked about it, and obviously they go on this list because they won a championship and in the style they did
So
it in.
one thing that I want to point out is, so Jason, Bryce, you're now owners.
Yeah.
Bryce said something to you on draft night when you guys drafted Greg, because Greg wasn't going to be available until at least mid-June.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing the long game, and regular season doesn't matter because everybody makes it in. You just got to, play some games. That's exactly what that team was. That, speaking from experience right there.
No kidding.
Bryce literally knows from experience that it doesn't matter necessarily how you really do in the regular season. Everybody gets in the playoffs, and that's when it actually matters. And that team proves it right there. 15-17, and they win a championship.
Exactly. I mean, that gets me excited for my second half of the season.
That's what I'm getting at here. So it's a little nerve-wracking there.
I mean, 3 of my owners are HRL champions.
Could Jace win every year and then go into an ownership role and win in the own? The GOAT debate is finished right there.
I think so. We have next, speaking of Jace, the 2021 Lions.
The OG champions of the league.
I want you, because you were a member of that championship team, to talk about those OG Lions.
So when we're taking into a fact of like team versus team, like we were young then. The league was young.
Very young.
I mean, we were just watching it, and Anthony Keeney was in like 8th grade then or something like that.
I'm gonna put Gundo's YouTube video in the link down below.
Yeah,
I'm gonna put it
go
down
and
in our
watch
comments. It's wild to watch. I was entering my sophomore year of high school. I just finished my freshman year of college. That's how far. I mean, that's how long this league's been going for. It's how far it's come is really mind blowing. But yeah, talk about just a young, raw league. It was crazy.
So I believe, what was our record that year? We were 23-12.
Yes.
So, I mean, not a bad record.
Not at all.
12 is kind of an ugly number for a losing, but, it's still...
I mean, you play 35 games, you're bound to lose a couple.
Yeah, that's one weekend away from being, that's a 1-3-0 weekend away from tying the Wolves.
Exactly. And you guys were the number 2 team in the league that year. The number 2 team in the league that year as well. Behind those Wolves.
So on our team, we had Gundo, Jace, Anthony Keeney, and me. And that was a pivotal point where Jace kind of had a breakout because he was young, he was scrawny, and then I remember in the finals, the whole series, he just was a hot from beyond the arc. That team took on the Red Raiders in the finals that upset the 2021 Wolves, led by Riley Means, Dog, Cody Breezer, the older brother of Wyatt Breezer. Who else was on that team?
Big Boy. And Bryce, was he on that team?
Bryce Corson. Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
That was one thing when you did expand the league, when it went from 8 teams to 10 teams, is that the talent pool, we hadn't added a lot of talent in quite yet, so it was kind of starting to spread out across the league. I mean, you're putting a Breezer, you put Bryce Corson on a team, you put in yourself, Jace Gundo on a team. I mean, you really had some stacked teams going at each other.
We did. So, I mean, the OG championship team, obviously you have to include them in this. I don't know.
Were they playing against plumbers back in the day, though?
Well,
plumbers and electricians?
Still a good team. Stats don't lie. I believe our plus minus was 99 or something. I don't know.
And Gundo was coming off of college basketball as well. I mean, he looked like he was he still is in phenomenal shape, but he looked...
I think he's lost his edge a little bit.
Next team is the 2022 Hunters.
Taking on the 2022 Hunters. Like we said, the team with the most wins in the best regular season record of all time. I kind of like this matchup because you've got the 2022 Hunters, best regular season of all time, but choke in the playoffs.
Yes.
to the Wolves, to Jace Keeney.
It was not the Wolves. It was the Lions with Jace Keeney that year.
Oh, we're talking 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2022. Okay. Gosh, I am off the year. So the 2022 Hunters, best regular season of all time, choke in the playoffs or in the finals to Jace Keeney,
Wilder,
Luke
Luke Hellickson.
and Luke Hellickson.
That was the only three that were there for the finals.
Yes.
They got swept in the finals that year.
Swept. So this team, the Hunters, the 2022 Hunters, were Zach, downtown Corey Brown, Wyatt Breezer. Zach and Wyatt are teamed up this year, something to watch, and Braden Jump. That's a good team. Obviously, the best regular season of all time.
Plus 99, which is
Yeah.
very good. We only had a couple teams that have broken to plus 100, plus
Yeah.
minus. But yeah, I mean, it's just a dominant regular season team. Zach won an MVP that year. Like you said, downtown Corey Brown was doing his thing. Wyatt Breezer. Braden Jump is a nice player in the league as well.
Yes.
And just it all, I mean, if you're watching this, you're voting on this, what means more to you? That championship pedigree or that regular season success? Another classic Gundo versus Zach matchup.
And one thing before we forget, that 2021 Lions was a 7-game series we played the best of 7,
which is wild. And
what
one
a
night.
grind. But the Lions won 4-2, but
6 games in
just
one
a little
night.
fun tidbit to add into there. Maybe a trivia question later.
Next on the bracket,
now we're on the bottom half here. So
the team that beat the 2022 Hunters, the 2022 Lions.
2022 Lions. I mean, we just talked about them a little bit.
They had now fully I was talking about 2023 Jace entering his prime, but he was already there. He was there in 2022 with the Lions. You had Luke Hellickson. You had rookie Logan Wilder, who I think might have won the Rookie of the Year that year. Maybe it was him or Trey.
I think Trey won it.
Trey won it.
Either
way, Wilder had himself a nice year. And those three just played really well together. They came in as, I don't even know what seed, but I do have the numbers here. They were 21-14. All right. Jace probably wasn't playing during the regular season.
Probably not.
They were plus 39. Not phenomenal. But they swept the best regular season team of all time in the finals.
I do believe this was also another team that was always battling for players because Jace usually not there. Luke was there. Wilder was there. But Lucas Nikolowski is basically the league ghost. And Jake Fischbacher, I believe, was also battling for state golf that year. So he didn't play because he did play, and then he rolled his ankle right before state golf. So when he called it, he just called it right there.
Yeah.
He didn't play for a while after that because he was pissed. And I think that kind of affected maybe his state golf run that year. But that's stuff I remember from that. Mm-hmm. But that team stacked. So we got to look at the finals team. So Jace, Luke, and Wilder. That's what we're including in our bracket here for best team.
I say, at what year do we open up the Rucker League Hall of Fame? Why have we never thought about that before?
Something, Gundo, Zach, message us when you see this to prove you guys actually watch the podcast.
We're not going to send a text in after this. We're going to wait until they.
We're going to wait until they come to us. We are in a group chat. We're going to wait for them to come to us about this because that is a great idea.
The Rucker League Hall of Fame would be awesome to have.
Okay, we'll save that for another time.
We can talk about who would be in the Rucker League Hall of Fame.
We got to talk about who's our first inductee, but we got to get to that
who our
later.
first inductee would be.
So taking on the 2022 Lions
is the 2025 Black Panthers.
The 2025 Black Panthers. So one thing, when we were talking about this, we were looking through all the rosters and we're looking through the history of the championships, and we needed 8 teams. We just couldn't quite decide on one. But when you look at this year's Black Panthers, obviously we're still in the middle of this. We're not even quite we're at the middle point of the season, but you have to include them because they are on pace to break the record. They're on pace to break the point differential. I mean, they're on pace for a championship if they keep winning.
So
this might be this could go down as one of the best teams. Time will tell, but we had to include them.
So yeah, I want to comment on that. The so obviously the win record is 27.
Mm-hmm.
They're on pace right now for 28. The plus minus differential point differential record is I think around 122 positive, or maybe around 114 positive. They're on pace for, let me check that, about 170 plus minus. They're already halfway the season. They're plus 87. So we're looking at these championship teams. The Lions the year they won it were plus 39. That the best team of all time, the best regular season of all time, those Hunters were plus 99. Again, 15 games in, they're plus 87. They're on another level of dominance right now.
They are crazy.
And I don't want like recency bias to get in the way of how good those Lions were in 2022. I mean, we're talking about HRL Hall of Fame. We're talking about 3 Hall of Famers potentially right there.
Potentially, yes.
But this Black Panthers team is the real deal.
They are. You've got the janitor. You've got Gavin Hubka, Anthony Keeney, the steal of the draft, in my opinion, Parker Wongan, and then the focal. Well, hopefully he stays there, but I would say the focal point of that team, the vibes guy, Jose,
and again, like going back to Jose, like that's a dude. If you can hone that energy for your team, he can really get into another team's head.
Oh,
LB just has to kind of like. LB's a little stubborn right now. He's like, Jose's not listening to me, so I'm not going to play him as much as he wants. You're going to win games regardless.
Yeah.
Give into it. Give Jose what he wants because he will do more things for you. Not even just on the stat books. Just
he's
like
not
getting
getting
in the other team's head. So that's my take on that. But that Black Panthers team, they're really good.
Now, I wish I could think of the name, but like you go and you think about the Pacers have a Jones is his name.
Oh, Joe Johnson or
no? I would have to look up the roster, but the Pacers have a guy on their team that is basically kind of could do what Jose does. So like whenever somebody starts chirping Tyrese Halliburton,
it's Joe Johnson.
James Johnson.
Oh,
James Johnson just comes in and says, I'm basically going to say the most outlandish something to you. And now all of a sudden their focus isn't on the star player, Ethan Lane, Gavin Hubka, all of a sudden the chirping isn't going to them. All of a sudden it's directed at Jose. Bam, lets those other guys just work.
Shout out Pat McAfee Show.
Shout out Pat McAfee Show. Shout out Boston Connor. All right, so we're getting to our final matchup here.
We have the 2024 Polars.
Last year's champions.
Reigning champs.
Zach, 3-time MVP, Zach's first championship.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, now we're thinking like, you look at pictures of like Zach when he first started in the league versus what he looks like now. I mean, he's already by his third MVP, I think is when he's really like in his prime now.
Oh, he was.
And don't forget, we got 77 out there.
We did have 77.
We got 77 out there. We have a young Brighton Ball, which kind of reminds me of a young Jace Keeney almost.
It does.
If those two, if the Lions, the 2021 Lions, were to meet up with the 2024 Polars, I kind of like that matchup. Zach on Gundo, you on 77. You're always 77 now.
I am 77.
Cool. Jace on Brighton. That's kind of a cool matchup almost right there.
That is, things do really kind of align on those teams. I wish we could just plug these all in and see what happens, but we're going to have to leave these up to the voters.
And don't forget, Jeremy was also on that team.
And Jeremy, the hustle player.
And my teammate CJ. Shout out CJ. But Jeremy was a big part of that championship.
And I know they had a really good regular season. Now, the one knock, I guess, that I would give to this 2024 Polars team is, did they maybe have kind of a cakewalk to win that finals? They did play, I believe, were they the 6th or the 8th seeded Black Panthers, who shocked everybody. Don't get me wrong. Like, they make it to the finals. Put some respect on your name. Logan Corson, Logan Baylor, and Father Time were on that team. I don't remember who their 4th was. I'm sorry for not remembering your name.
Was it Ethan Kingsley?
It might have been Ethan Kingsley.
I
think it was Ethan Kingsley, but he didn't do a lot of playing because we didn't have that rule where you have to play. But the Black Panthers came, shocked Jay Brink in the first round, beat the...
They beat the Knights then. Maybe the Hunters.
They beat the Hunters because the Hunters upset I was on the Knights last year.
Yeah.
And that was when Riley Means kept getting hurt. And we got upset by the
talk
Hunters.
about chippy series, too, that was.
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, so then the Black Panthers meet up with the Hunters 6-7. They get to the finals. Polars cakewalk to the finals.
So they played the Lions, which barely crept in the playoffs, but they did have to beat Gundo and Greg's Red Raiders, who had almost set the regular season winning streak record that year. So they did get a good win right there as well.
They did. Arguably, I guess maybe the most Mickey Mouse ring in the league, and the last team that's going to be included in our 8 best teams in HRL history, team we talked about earlier a little bit, the 2023 Suns.
So this 2023 Suns is really good.
They were really good.
So
we're talking,
yeah.
Well, so player we just mentioned, Greg, was on that team.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Zach. I would say like right about at that prime, like Polar's Zach was probably the prime. Even this year might even be like right, still at the peak of that. But like I'm talking like Zach had to just pull his leg up to get to that peak.
Yeah,
Zach top of his game, and then he had Jeffy, brother to brother dynamic duo, and then
Jeffy that season became the first player to ever average 3 assists per game.
He did.
So you're talking about Jeffy distributing, Zach's hitting shots. Greg has always been tall. I think he came
hitting shots,
6'5".
grabbing rebounds, and then they had Haiti on the team, I guess.
And they drafted Haiti, I think, with the first round pick too, which is
crazy.
No,
we actually probably should. Wasn't Haiti traded that year, or was that last year?
That was last year. He was traded.
But I mean,
I don't know if he showed up that year at all. I can't remember.
I think a couple times. I think he showed up for the finals, but no. So Zach, Jeffy, and Greg. Imagine that team this year.
Oh my gosh! I mean, Zach just had like a 40-point weekend. Jeffy just had a 40-point weekend.
23-9.
I mean, they were 23-9. Their plus minus was plus 114. That might be the record currently.
I think it is. If we remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that's the record right now.
So I mean, this finals was electric because they played then that 2023 Wolves. They had Jace, Josh, Carson, and Bryce. So we had Jace, Josh, Carson, Bryce playing Zach, Jeffy, and Greg. And it went to 5. We played best of 5. It went to 5, came down to the wire.
Did fatigue hurt this team from a championship?
I think it probably did. You had a deeper squad in the Wolves than you did with the Suns.
You had that fourth person.
And I blame Zach because at that point we had captains instead of owners. Zach used the first round pick on Haiti.
He lived with Haiti then.
Did he really?
He did.
Yeah, he used that first round pick on Haiti. And, Haiti's a good ball player, but when your first round pick is definitely not as good as your second or third round pick, it makes you think, who could I have gotten with that first round pick?
Who could he have gotten? This is going to be crazy. So one more time for the viewers. We'll have a post up on IHRL of the bracket for you guys to go look at. So once you watch this video, jump over to the Instagram, check this out. So we've got 2021 Wolves taking on the 2023 Wolves. 2021 Lions taking on the 2022 Hunters. 2022 Lions taking on the 2025 Black Panthers. 2024 Polars taking on the 2023 Suns. This is going to be exciting.
I'm really excited about
this.
I
can't wait to see what our fans think. Who do they think is the greatest HRL team in history? Hopefully they come here and kind of get I don't know who's better, the 2021 Lions, 2022 Hunters. Come check it out here. We broke everything down. We laid out the table. Now we want you guys to choose. This is going to be fun. We're going to lay it out probably, a game a day, and then that will lead us into Sunday, giving us a championship. But
perfect for Sunday. And yeah, if you think that a team that you're a fan of or a team that you were on got snubbed, this bracket will be on our Instagram. Let us know down below on the Instagram. Let us know in the comment section. Boost this algorithm. Let's see if we can broaden this HRL fan base that we have. Minnesota is a big place. It's not limited just to Harmony. So, let us know if you think that team got snubbed. I don't think so. I think this is the best 8 team that's ever played. But
based on our research, you could argue maybe 1 or 2 teams, but nobody's going to remember them.
Yeah.
So this was I don't know how long this podcast is going to be. Hopefully people watch the whole time. I know we had
The friendship circle.
the friendship circle come in and give their takes, but this was a fun one. I'm excited for this week. It's going to be awesome. Anything,
really fun.
Anything left for the viewers?
No, I'm like I said, this has been a good change of pace from our regularly scheduled program, and I'm excited to see what the viewers think about this.
Yeah.
I had my idea of who's gonna be the winner, but now seeing how the bracket's laid out, I have no idea.
We had an idea. Now it's like, oh, jeepers. You could see. I don't want to give anything.
I don't
away.
want to say anything because I
don't
don't
want
want
to
to
sway any viewers.
So we've just laid out the teams, who are on them, their stats. Now we'll see what people say.
Go to the Instagram, check out the bracket. There's going to be voting each day. This is going to be fun. This is going to be special. Let everybody you know about this. Let them come and vote. Let them come decide for themselves. And we're going to see you guys. We'll see you guys later today at 4:00 at Rucker Park. This is going to be a fun one. This has been episode 5 of Inside the Harmony Rucker League. I hope nobody comments any booty-ass Gators teams.
2023 Gators.